Well, hey, change chasers. Welcome back to the podcast where we explore how to grow, how to level up, and how to chase change with intention and heart. I'm Mandy, and today we're talking about a powerful mindset that often gets overlooked in the hustle of transformation, and that is of being a person of peace. Sign me up, right? I love people who bring peace, but I also want to be a person of peace. And I'm sure as you're listening, you're probably agreeing with that, right? We all probably have in common the fact that we do enjoy peace. And so when you're chasing change, new goals and habits or life directions, I know that sometimes it can be easy to get overwhelmed, maybe even anxious or restless. But what if peace could be your greatest strength on this journey? So it's a question that maybe you've not necessarily thought about. If not recently, if probably maybe not today, I don't know. But so with that said, y'all, let's go ahead and dive into why peace isn't just the absence of conflict, but a powerful force that fuels lasting change. Hot take number one, here coming in strong, peace grounds your purpose. Change chasing can sometimes feel chaotic, right? I'm probably get a amen on that one. It can sometimes feel chaotic and feel like, oh my goodness, I just don't know what is coming next or even what to do next sometimes, right? New goals bring new challenges. And sometimes our peace can get a little bit hijacked. But I do know one thing is for sure that without peace, unfortunately, y'all, it is so easy to get scattered or even burned out. So, why is peace so vital? Because peace grounds your purpose. It helps you to stay centered and clear about why you're chasing change in the first place. When you cultivate inner peace, you create space to listen deeply to your intuition and values. And this clarity prevents you from, I think, chasing every shiny, sparkly opportunity or reacting impulsively. Instead, you stay aligned with what truly matters. So your growth is intentional and sustainable. So, how do you cultivate this peace? Well, y'all, we have to start with mindfulness or maybe even breathing exercises to calm your mind daily. Some of us might even want to go and take a walk, right? I mean, it just different things work for different folks. But the reality of it is that when we reflect regularly on our why, when you reflect on your why, then writing it down or revisiting whenever you feel off track is a good way to help you to be able to reclaim your mind, so to speak, right? To be able to be present in the moment more so, to be able to practice acceptance, because peace often grows when you stop fighting reality and start working with it. Jumping in on hot take number two, peace builds resilience in the face of change. Y'all, change is rarely linear. There are setbacks, delays, and moments of doubt. A person of peace doesn't mean a person without struggle. It means someone who responds to struggle with calm strength. Peace helps you to develop resilience, the ability to bounce back, even whenever your circumstances are uncertain, right? When your foundation is peaceful, though, you can hold discomfort without panic. This steadiness prevents, I believe, burnout and also discouragement. Thinking of being a person of peace, I also think about how this ties in with emotional regulation. And so when I stop and thinking about a person of peace, is someone who is anchored really well during the storms of life when they come, because unfortunately, storms do come, don't they? I mean, different things happen, different challenges may come along and hit us at times when we least expect it. And so, depending on our heart posture and the way that we are operating, can determine how I guess I'll say how brutal and how badly the storm does impact us. And so whenever I think about when challenges hit, instead of reacting out of fear or frustration, y'all, if we respond with thoughtful action and faith in the process, then our peace doesn't get swept away so quickly. And then thinking about practical tips on how to build resilience through peace. My first one I think about is to create a daily pause. Stop, breathe, and remind yourself that, as the old saying goes, this too shall pass. Maybe even another practical way to build resilience through peace is to keep a gratitude journal or a gratitude practice, so to speak, which we've talked about in a previous episode, but thinking about shifting your perspective. And then also surrounding yourself with peaceful influences. People. I like some peaceful people, right? We already talked about that. But also music and the environments in which we find ourselves. Y'all, if we are intentional about surrounding ourselves with peaceful influences, it can really help calm our spirit. Hot take number 3, peace inspires others and strengthens relationships. Change chasing isn't done in isolation, is it, y'all? I mean, whenever you stop and you just think about whenever you are growing as you're going and all of the different ways that you're trying to live out your life, you're trying to continue to achieve these dreams and these goals that you have set out for yourself. I know how difficult it is whenever some relationships, they're either, I hate to be negative Nelly, but the reality of it is that some people in our lives either fuel us or drain us. And so we have to make sure that we are guarding our hearts in a sense that we're careful about who we are spending so much of our time with. And so when I think about a person of peace, I think about those are people who bring calm and positive energy, right? Encouragement to those around them. And I just think about how the type of people who bring calmness and encouragement, their energy invites support and trust and even collaboration. And so when you're peaceful, I think you communicate better. I also know from experience that you listen more deeply. And I also believe that people of peace avoid unnecessary conflicts that can derail your progress. And so thinking about this question of yourself as you're listening today, and maybe this is a message that you're like, oh, goodness, I need to be reminded of this. I need to hear this. And I will say, hey, me too. That's why I created the content for this episode today, because I wanted to think about how can I grow more so as a person of peace? And so if that's you, sweet friend, change chaser, listening on the other side of this, then how can you be a person of peace in your relationships? Well, I think one way is to practice empathy. Try to understand others' perspectives without judgment. Another way is to set healthy boundaries that protect your peace and your priorities. Another thought is to be quick to forgive and slow to anger, freeing yourself from grudges that might even weigh you down. And so that gives you just a few things to think about, sweet friends, today. I'm going to wrap this episode up with our C3 time now, our Change Chasers Challenge. And for this episode, I want to just encourage you in the thought process that peace is not passive or weak. I truly believe that it's a powerful force that grounds your purpose, builds resilience, and strengthens your connections. So this week, focus on cultivating peace in one area of your life, whether it's your mindset, your response to challenges, or maybe even your relationships. Notice how peace fuels your change journey in unexpected ways. And sweet friends, if you have found this information and this episode helpful, I hope that you will please subscribe and then share it with someone who might need a little more peace on their path, or even so much so for this few minutes of this episode today. I am so thankful for the gift of your time today. I do hope that as we are continuing to chase change together, that we can all grow as people of peace. All right, sweet friends, I am so thankful again for the gift of your time today. I want to remind you to just remember that lasting change starts from a peaceful heart. So, with that said, I do hope that you are so blessed with many opportunities this week to invite peace into your mindset and inspire others through peaceful connection. And, sweet friends, as we depart and we say our goodbyes on this episode, let's keep chasing change. And y'all, let's keep living with purpose. Goodbye, sweet friends.